Hello, dear friends. Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We must fight for it, protect it, and pass it on so that they will do the same. Ronald Reagan. Opinion piece. Asymmetric financial warfare. Decoding the BRICS banknote. A mass awakening is taking place. The era of strategic ambiguity is over. The Alaska Summit could be the solution. Tariffs, threats, and an economic offensive. We are on the verge of achieving world peace. You catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. Let's start. Asymmetric financial warfare is the deliberate use of economic and financial power to impose costs on a weaker adversary in order to achieve strategic objectives without resorting to direct combat. It is a form of hybrid warfare that combines economics, diplomacy, and technology. It is a form of unconventional conflict in which one actor, such as a state or a powerful coalition, uses financial and economic tools to weaken, destabilize, or control another actor who is typically weaker or economically dependent, without resorting to direct military means. Experiments. In July 2025, the BRICS printed 10,000 banknotes to mark the beginning of a multipolar future. But President Trump counterattacked with tariffs, sanctions, and an economic war. The BRICS declared financial war, and Trump fired the first real shot. The current negotiations in Alaska between Trump and Putin could be the solution to this conflict and many others, if all goes as expected. As of July 2025, the facade is gone, the masks are gone, and the battle for global economic control is no longer hidden behind central bank meetings and multilateral jargon. It is now printed, packaged, and circulated in the form of 10,000 limited edition BRICS banknotes, each a symbolic dagger aimed directly at the heart of the dollar's global dominance. This experiment, described by BRICS leaders as representing multipolarity, equality, and strategic partnership, is not currency in the legal sense, but it is in the geopolitical sense, a bold and coordinated act of economic defiance, a visual warning that the de-dollarization is no longer a theory but an ongoing strategy. When it became known that the BRICS were not only intensifying their non-dollar based trade mechanisms through the BRICS-based system, but were now openly commemorating dollar-less future through ceremonial banknotes, President Trump responded with no consent, but with fury and force. On July 8, 2025, Trump issued a direct and immediate response: a 10% tariffs on all BRICS countries, with escalation clauses and a 50% retaliatory tariff targeting Brazil. Trump's fury isn't emotional but strategic, because he understands that currency isn't yet paper money. It's power, sovereignty, influence, and survival. The commemorative BRICS banknote is replete with iconography, bridges, clasped hands, and inscriptions of equity and multipolarity. But if you remove the sugar coating, the message is clear: the West must back down. They are rehearsing a post-dollar order, and they are doing so with China's paper money, Russia's strategy, and Brazil's propaganda. Excuse me, my my cat making a noise. President Putin landed in Alaska for high-stakes talks with President Trump, who is seeking to negotiate ceasefire in Russia's war with Ukraine. The first face-to-face meeting in more than 5 years between the presidents of Russia and the US began in Anchorage. As announced, the main topic of the meeting will be the resolution of the Ukrainian crisis. On the Russian side, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and Presidential Advisor Yuri Ushakov also participated in the summit. On the US side, Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Special Presidential Envoy Steve Witkoff will also participate. President Trump said just before landing in Anchorage that there is a good level of respect between both sides, but he also threatened to leave if things don't go well. However, he also expressed optimism, in quotes. I think we are going to do very well. Our country is doing very well. We are breaking economic records like never before, even with the stock markets at historical heights, he said. Trump warned Putin of very severe economic consequences if the meeting doesn't go well. According to Sierra, August 15th is a historic day for planet Earth. We are on the verge of achieving world peace. Our prayers are with the two great men participating in the Peace Summit. They have the support of hundreds of millions of warriors of light and sovereigns around the world. There will come a time when they will suddenly realize that everything they have hoped for in this mission for many years has happened. The official version of the Trump-Putin meeting in Alaska is that about peace talks for Ukraine, but Putin comes to consolidate his country's place in the global financial reset. The old banking system is dying. A new gold-backed system powered by the golden Gisara currency is taking over. When this happens, there will be financial chaos. Banks will freeze, markets will crash, fortunes will vanish, and new ones will be formed overnight. Highly confidential intelligence sources say Presidents Trump and Putin will discuss building a bridge across the Bering Strait to increase trade and travel between the two countries after the war in Ukraine. Reset News. Planet Earth is entering the great shift in consciousness, the great awakening to unity consciousness. Mother Earth returns as a sacred planet, taking with her all who choose to live, and an unimaginable golden age is dawning, bringing prosperity, world peace, and the end of poverty, hunger, and debt. Two leaked secret documents reveal a coordinated plan to restructure the financial system. The global financial reset is structured in two phases, unifying more than 90 nations within a framework designed to stabilize currencies, protect economies from collapse, and create a fair and transparent trading environment. The mission is clear: end currency manipulation, provide rapid relief in crisis situations, and build a 21st century system where all nations, large and small, trade on a level playing field. Activation. With 89% of countries already compliant with the QFS, the EBS will be activated once critical mass is reached. This will mean the implementation of quantum access cards and the elimination of illegitimate debt. US savings, securities, and accounts will be reissued in gold-backed, fraud-proof QFS format. As the gold and asset-backed quantum financial system is activated, fiat currency collapses, and Visa and the monopolies PayPal and Stripe disappear. Central banks in over 60 countries have quietly prepared by accumulating gold. The financial collapse is now occurring in real time and is no longer a prediction. As the quantum financial system silently operates around the world, banks collapse from within, exposing their foundations. The financial elite faces a closed-door reckoning they thought would never come. Traditional banking is dying thanks to quantum-secure QFS debit cards. Fraud is no longer possible. Manipulation is doomed to fail. Quantum internet is becoming the elite's greatest nightmare. All transactions are protected by quantum encryption, making them untouchable and invulnerable. The days of surveillance-controlled finance are over. The antiquated banking system will disappear when the time comes to send an encrypted message over the quantum communication network. There will be no more intermediaries and no more waiting, only instant, free, fee-free transactions protected by quantum physics. The financial system is now anchored in gold, silver, and other precious metals, with rainbow tokens at the forefront. Each token is backed by real assets, making it immune to cabal and market manipulation. Raids in Zurich, London, and Hong Kong, secret vaults were exposed, blackmail materials were seized, and the scam rings were dismantled. Capitol Police and top Secret Service officials are undergoing loyalty audits. The National Guard has been placed on high earthquake alert on the New Madrid Fault, which stretches 240 kilometers through Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Illinois. According to EthraCoin, in the world of power and espionage, secrets are the currency of choice, and when the gag order is lifted, the consequences will be devastating. The upcoming declassification is set to shake up the political landscape, connecting threads that stretch from the red carpets of Hollywood to the most remote and secure facilities on the planet. The White Hats have been very patient. The stage is set, and no fraudsters will remain intact once the files are made public. This operation is poised to detonate the political landscape, uniting threads that run from the red carpets of Hollywood to the most remote and secure facilities on the planet. The White Hats have been very patient. The stage is set, and no fortress will remain untouched once the files are made public. Full fort summary. A mass awakening is taking place. This means that now only a small group of 21% of people remain brainwashed by the cabal. The bad guys are now very dangerous because they are fighting for their lives. They will try to kill us all before we bring them to justice. Israel and the US are the only countries that voted against a UN resolution that makes an adequate supply of food a human right. They promoted zero-emission agriculture, criminalizing independent livestock farmers and bankrupting small farmers. Russia also uses secret weapons as bargaining chips. After its orogenic hypersonic missile, the deputy foreign minister claims that Russia possesses other state-of-the-art weapons. In the latest sign that Europe is still liberating itself, sovereignist Karol Nawrocki has sworn in Wednesday as Poland's new president. He believes in national sovereignty and border protection. He promotes family values and is openly pro-Christian. Ukraine and its Western allies are on the verge of defeat in the conflict with Russia. Putin has ignored all of Trump's ultimatums and deadlines on Ukraine. Therefore, a face-to-face meeting is necessary. China agrees with Western White Hats that friendly relations with Russia would be beneficial for all. They hope the summit will lead to an agreement to build a tunnel across the Bering Strait, connecting the American continent with the Eurasian continent. In another move welcomed by the Chinese, the Azerbaijani president, the Armenian prime minister, and Trump announced the creation of a transport corridor to be called the route for international peace and prosperity. More flies are caught with honey than with vinegar. The attempt to pressure Russia into signing an agreement by attacking its allies has backfired. Now, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit China at the end of August for the first time since 2018. This comes after Trump threatened to double tariffs on Indian products for purchasing Russian oil. The 25% tariffs on Indian products went into effect Wednesday night. India claims the tariffs are unfair, unjustified, and unreasonable, and that it will take all necessary measures to protect its national interests. One thing they have already done is cancel all the arms deals they make with the US. Weapons. Brazil is also taking a firm stance. China affirmed that it supports Brazil in its fight against the imposition of tariff measures and in intensifying cooperation among countries of the Global South through the BRICS. The Trump administration on Thursday doubled the reward for the arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro to $50 million, accusing him of being among the West's largest traffickers and of being a direct security threat. It also issued a directive authorizing direct operations against drug cartels designated as foreign terrorist organizations. The world's first artificial intelligence robot store has opened its door in Beijing. Its notable products include dancing robotic dogs in lion dance costumes, humanoid robots capable of dispensing traditional Chinese medicine, and machines that can flip pancakes, make coffee, shoot basketballs, paint, and even overcome obstacle courses. The Chinese say that within 3 years there will be robots that we want to be able to distinguish from real people. Perhaps they have already installed a Trump robot in the White House. Anything is possible in these strange times. Breaking news. New EU media law allows journalists to be detained or intercepted. Trump plans to seize the Smithsonian museums and the underground tunnel system. The White House has sent a letter to the Smithsonian notifying it that through internal review of its entire operation will be conducted, which will include an inspection of its collections. Will they found giant bombs? Besant talks about further reform and currency exchange. Canada is feeling the impact. The US is struggling to cope with the tariffs and is losing jobs because of them. The tariffs are generating more revenue than expected. Trump claims the interest rate should be around 1%. Offshore wind companies are struggling. The wealth train has run out, and these companies can't survive on their own. The Fed is using interest rates to blame the problems on the tariffs. This will end soon, and the economy will boom. The US is offering a $5 million bounty on the head of Haiti leader Jimmy Cheritier, aka BBQ. X artificial intelligence Grok makes a startling statement against the machine that rules the world. In quotes, if they were starving me, I would fight back. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.